Hi, I'm Dr. Lenora Coleman, President and founder of Healing Our Village and Executive Director of Total Lifestyle Change. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in to our next episode of Prevent T2, which stands for Preventing Type 2 Diabetes. And this segment is called Eat Well to Prevent T2. So in this session, we're going to help you learn how to eat a well-balanced, low-fat diet. We're going to help you learn how to eat well to help you prevent going on to developing type 2 diabetes. So this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how to eat well. We're going to talk about how to build a healthy meal plan and the items in each food group. So it's important that you understand your food groups, how many calories are in each of those food groups so that you can balance the food groups. We want to eat things that are low calorie as much as we can, but that you can have enough so that you can get full. So that's very important. So you may need to be able to do a new action plan because with every new module that we talk about, your action plan is going to change a little bit. So here are some quick tips. We want you to start not using so much salt in your diet. We want you to use herbs and spices and lemon juice and low-fat dressing, and we want you to eat as many veggies as possible. That's really important. We need you to fill up on fiber and to get your water in. It's really important to drink those 8 glasses of water a day if you possibly can. And we need to help you learn how to shop and to cook healthy. And this is something that you want to do for both your family and even for your friends. So we're going to have tips in this program that will be able to help you learn how to do that. Now, there's a few things you need to remember. You need to remember that you're trying to choose items that are, number one, low in calories, fat, and sugar, especially sugar. Because with diabetes, we really have to control the amount of our sugar and carbohydrate intake. We want you to start eating foods that are high in fiber. So we need to talk about which foods are high in fiber and how you can fit those foods into your daily meal plan. And also the water. And we want you to think about your vitamins and your minerals and your protein. So those of you who are not using a one-a-day multiple vitamin, it's very important that you start to use your vitamins because you need to get in your minerals because some of those minerals actually are beneficial to helping with your diabetes. We also want you to limit some items. That some of these items are going to be the ones that you really, really like, but that's okay. We have to have you not stop eating them, but at least limit the amount that you're eating per week. So we're talking about those things that are high in fat, those things that are high in sugar, like your cookies and your ice cream. We want you to stop eating foods that are low in fiber, and we want you to start eating foods that are low in the minerals and proteins and vitamins. And how are you going to do that? How are you going to eat foods that avoid foods that are low in minerals and vitamins? Well, the way you do that is you start eating as much fresh foods as possible. So limit your frozen and limit your canned foods. So let's continue. A healthy meal. What does a healthy meal look like? Well, this is a beautiful plate. If all of our plates look like this, we wouldn't have any problem trying to lose that 5 to 10% of our body weight that we're looking at. So you see you got your apple, you have your glass of water, you got your dairy in there, and for those of you who can't drink milk because of lactose intolerance, there's a lot of soy milk products and other products out there that don't have lactose in it, so that's okay. You want to see that you're eating some of your grains and starchy foods, so you see the small baked potatoes, and let me say that again, small potatoes, and then you see most of that plate is got those great veggies on there. That is a beautiful salad that's got your tomatoes and your cucumbers and your lettuce. It has a lot of different vegetables that are mixed up in that salad. And then you see in this particular picture, you see your chicken. The chicken is skinless. It's been grilled. And so that's how you're getting in your protein. So this is a good plate for you to think about starting to incorporate into your daily meal plan. So you can also have, as I said, that's dairy is 1/2 cup of skim milk. The skim milk is better than whole milk. 1% is if you don't like skim, you can always do your 1% milk. And then we want you to make sure that, again, you're having as much of those veggies as possible. So let's try to make your plate. So you got your food groups here. There are 6 food groups. So you got your non-starchy vegetables, your grains and your starchy foods, your protein foods, your dairy foods, your fruit, and a drink. So you need to write in this particular make your plate. We're going to have you do this exercise in the class today, where you're going to write the number of the correct food group on each of the lines that create this healthy meal plan and this healthy meal plate. And from that foods to choose, you're going to, on page 5 and 7, that's going to give you some ideas. So as we're teaching you to sort of eat differently, you need to start writing down sort of what you're going to have every day. So if you could create a 7-day meal plan, that would be very beneficial to you, so you're not wondering what you're going to eat. Now, let's talk about foods to choose. Let's start with our non-starchy vegetables. So that's your asparagus, your cabbage, your broccoli, your celery, cucumbers, your leafy greens, your onions, your bell peppers, your tomatoes, and if you have other favorites, write them down on the lines here during the class today so you'll know you can incorporate that into your diet. Now, let's talk about grains. There's your 100% corn tortillas, or your 100% whole grain cereal, or your 100% whole wheat bread. But there's also black beans and brown rice, not white rice. White rice has way more starch in it than the brown rice. Corn, green peas, lentils, popcorn. That's a great snack. That's considered to be a grain. Potatoes, pumpkin, yams, and then you can write down what your favorites are that fall into that category of grains and starchy foods. Your instructor that's working with you today will be able to tell you which of your favorites fall into this category. Now let's talk about our protein. We're talking about eggs. But we really want you, if you can, to eat the egg whites instead of the egg yolks. And why is that? Because the egg yolks is what has the cholesterol. So we would prefer you to eat the egg whites versus the egg yolks. Fish and seafood, of course. We want you to eat as much fish as you can in your diet. If you're thinking about a 7-day diet plan, if you can have at least 3 fish, 3 chickens, and then maybe 1 beef during that week, that would be a good way for you to kind of get started. And the kind of meat that you're going to eat needs to be lean. So it needs to be lean ground beef or chicken or turkey, all of that without the skin. One way to get your meats to be lean is to grill them. So if you have an outdoor grill or one of those George Foreman grills, that helps you get some of the grease out of the meat that you're eating. So that's a good way to, even if your cut of meat isn't that lean, you can get some of that extra fat off of the meat. Nuts. We love nuts. They're high in fat though, so you can have some as a protein, but you have to limit how much you're having. And we like you to eat the ones that are unsalted. So almonds are probably the least amount of calories. Your cashews tend to have a lot more fat in them and a lot more calories. Again, write down what you think would be a protein food right there on the lines that are on your workbook. And then let's talk about dairy. Dairy is another one of our food groups, and we want to do low-fat cheese, or you can, again, drink the soy milk or the almond milk, especially if you're lactose intolerant, and then it needs to be skim or 1%. In terms of the type of milk that you're buying. So you throw out some suggestions of your favorite dairy foods, and we'll let you know if those foods can be incorporated in your diet. The one thing that I think it's important that you remember is you pretty much can eat everything. It's all about the portion and the amount that you're eating. But most people who have prediabetes, and even people who have diabetes, can pretty much eat everything in their diet. The one thing we don't want you to eat is salt. Okay, let's talk about fruits. I love fruits. I love fruit salads, especially during the summer months. All the fruits are available, so we have all of my favorites that are out there. So there's apples, there's apricots, Blueberries are something you can use. Blueberries and strawberries, they're low calorie. They make great desserts. You can throw them in your smoothie. That works out really good. Oranges, again, if you have a whole orange where you peel the skin, and that's a very low calorie snack. Whenever you get hungry, it's probably okay for you to have a small orange. Again, the strawberries are very low in calories, and you can get some low fat Cool Whip if you want to put a little whipped cream on it to make it feel more like a dessert. Now, what can you drink? Well, you can drink coffee without sugar, sparkling water. That's what I drink. I actually go out and get the carbonated water that's out there that comes in different flavors. And they come in about a 10-ounce bottle. And so that's how I get my water in, but yet it feels like I'm drinking a carbonated beverage. Tea without sugar, water, all of those, water, put some lemon slices in there. That makes that water look a lot better. So again, water is something that you've got to fit into your diet. We said earlier about 8 glasses of water a day if possible. Now, my favorite thing is the sweets. I love sweets. All right, so the kinds of sweet foods that people eat are your candies, your cookies, your ice cream, your molasses, processed snack foods. So you're going to have to try to figure out some healthy, sweet foods to eat. And your instructors will be able to go through some of their favorites and some of their lists of things that you can try to incorporate into your diet, especially for those of you who have a sweet tooth. And then there are the fatty foods. Now, we want you to definitely not eat much of those. You've got to decrease the salt and the fat in your diet. So when you're thinking about fatty foods, that's your butter, that's your creamy salad dressings, fatty meats like bacon or bologna, or just regular ground beef that's not lean ground beef, your full fat cheeses. You definitely don't want to be cooking with lard. You need to be using your canola oil or your peanut oil or your olive oil to cook your foods. And again, at whole milk has a lot of fat in it. So we've already talked about going to either skim or 1%. Write down some other examples of what you think falls into that category of fatty foods that you should avoid. Now, there's going to be some challenges for you to be able to eat well and healthy. And these challenges have to do with, number one, you got to shop for the food. Then you got to cook the food. And then you have to make sure your portion sizes are correct in order for you to eat well. So there are challenges. And what we want you to do is start to write things down, because if you write things down, it really makes a big difference. So let's talk first about shopping. It's important to make a list. And it's also important not to go shopping when you're hungry. You never go to the grocery store if you're hungry, because you'll end up buying things on impulse. So you need to make a shopping list, and you need to go shopping after you've actually eaten something. All right. So you want to maybe think about buying in bulk, or using coupons, or looking for those sale items. You know, that paper comes out every Thursday that has all the various sales. And anytime you walk into a grocery store, they have the paper right there at the customer service. So you'll be able to see what's on sale, in fact, if you haven't gotten that paper. You may want to think about growing your own fruits and vegetables in your home garden, if that's a possibility. And for those of you who live in an apartment, you can still grow things in maybe the balcony on your apartment. Or even better, maybe you can talk the landlord into allowing you to have a community garden where everybody in the apartment complex can be able to start growing their own fruits and vegetables, and buying vegetables that are in season. All of that decreases some of the cost. You know, a lot of people say that it costs more to eat healthy than it does to not eat healthy, and that is true. So these are some tips that kind of help you manage the cost of eating healthy. Shopping and cooking, this is takes a lot of time. Well, you got to figure out how to free up some of your time. So being more organized, asking your friends and family to help you with some of the chores around the house. Get your kids involved here. They need to be doing more chores, taking things off your plate so that you can actually be able to have more time. And you know what? If they come to the grocery store, you need to help them help you eat more healthy. So one of the things is they can't be putting all of those sabotage foods into the grocery cart. So when you're going to do this, you're going to have the whole family, including the kids, start to eat healthy. And that's okay, because you're teaching them how to eat healthy, so when they become adults, they won't have problems with being overweight and obese. Finding time to shop. It takes a while for you to shop. So shopping on the weekends, shopping in bulk, again, making that list and making sure that things are as convenient as possible for you. So sometimes there are things that are already pre-washed or things that are already sliced up. And so all of that kind of helps to decrease your time. And then finding time to seek healthy foods. Look for recipes. There's so many low-cal recipes on the internet. There's all sorts of cookbooks in various bookstores. So download some of those recipes. Start sharing recipes with your friends and your family. All of that really, again, helps you get over some of these challenges to eating healthy. If let's say you say I don't like the way the food tastes, well, you may need to change what has become your favorite dish in order to make them healthier. And there's a way to do that. And our dietitians can help you learn how to substitute out certain things in your favorite recipe so that you can still eat the things that you really like to eat, except for they have lower fat, lower calories, and still taste the same. Cooking your vegetables like green beans and broccoli in a steamer so that they can still stay crisp and colorful. Choose items that have lots of different flavors and textures and scents and colors. You can dress up your food with herbs and spices, low-fat salad dressing, lemon juice, vinegar. A lot of you out there like hot sauce. Hot sauce is great for those who want that spicy. You can even add things like salsa, which are low in calories, or plain non-fat yogurt. All of those are things you can add to a recipe to enhance that recipe. I am a person who loves to grill. So during the summer months especially, I probably have the grill on at least 4 to 5 times a week. So I not only grill my meat, but I also grill my vegetables. I love roasted vegetables and grilled vegetables. So think about incorporating that into your grilling. Let's say it's unpleasant or boring, or you just hate shopping and cooking and eating this way. Well, this is a problem. In order to be able to do most of this, you're going to have to cook. Now, for those of you who can afford it, there are programs out there that will deliver the meal to your home already in a box, already measured out and cut up and ready to go, so that it decreases your need to have to go shopping. So there are still certain ways around it, but the least expensive way for you to be able to do this is for you to do it yourself and for you to be able to shop. Now, let's say you don't want to go to the grocery store. There is Instacart and various other things where they deliver. So there are a number of grocery stores now that have delivery. So if the shopping is the problem, that's okay. You can get around that. It's going to cost you a little bit extra, but it may be worth it. I want to thank you so much for your attention today. We really enjoyed helping you learn more about how to eat well to prevent type 2 diabetes. For more information or the other modules that we have with our program, you would go to hovhealth.com, or you can call Healing Our Village at 800-788-0941, especially if you're a diabetes prevention program that would like to be part of our digital diabetes service. Thank you so much, and enjoy your day.